All right, guys, I want to do a quick video here on the quadratic equation. This is section 1.2, and sometimes you hear it called the quadratic formula or quadratic equation. Either way is fine with me. So just a reminder, this is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. You've seen this before, right? So this is any formula, or this is a formula, I should say, that gives you the solution to any quadratic equation. Doesn't matter what the quadratic equation is, this will work. All right, in order to use the formula, the quadratic equation needs to be in this form: ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Important part here is that that equals 0 on the right side of the equation. Okay, so a couple things is that a is the number in front of the x squared, b, you have your b term and your c term, right? Same thing we've been doing before. Right, to solve this, we have our quadratic equation up in the top. Let's use this one for number 1, x squared minus 12x equals 28. Right, so if I move my 28 over, now it's minus 28 equals 0. Where my a is 1, my b is negative 12, and my c is negative 28. Okay, so if I plug those into the quadratic equation, x equals negative times negative 12 plus or minus the square root of that b squared term is negative 12 squared minus 4 times a is 1 times c is negative 28, all divided by 2 times a, which is 2 times 1. Simplify a little bit, so we get a 2 here in the denominator. I also say that negative 12 quantity squared is 144, and then negative 4 times 1 times negative 28 is 112. So that simplifies further, I guess, to the square root of 256. Okay, and of course the square root of 256 is 16. So now my two problems is either 12 plus 16 over 2 or 12 minus 16 over 2, which is what this next part should say. And if you do the math, you either get 14 or negative 2. Okay, let's try with another one. Again, I have my formula at the top here. This time it's x squared minus 22x plus 121 equals 0. You might notice this is one of those sums of squares, but we're going to do it using the quadratic equation instead. My a, b, and c are 1, 22, and 121. If I put those into the formula, it looks like this. Okay, simplify a little bit. Underneath the radical, it gives me 448 for 22 squared. And then negative 4 times 1 times 121 is negative 484. So what you're going to notice here is that this is actually going to give us 0. Of course, the square root of 0 is 0. So I cannot add or subtract 0. It just is 0. If you add it or subtract it, you get the same thing. Negative 22 on top over 2, which of course is just negative 11. Okay, another one, x squared plus 5 equals 3x. Got to move my 3x over. Notice this time when I move it over, it goes into that b spot because that's x. It should go in descending order for your exponents, 2, 1, and nothing for the exponents on that. So we get our a, b, and c to be 1, negative 3, and 5. Throw those into the formula. Gives you this. Okay, and then be careful here, negative 3 is a positive 3, plus or minus, negative 3 squared is 9, and then negative 4, you can even probably do this in your head, negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, negative 4 times 5 is negative 20, so 9 minus 20 over 2. This is going to end up negative for our square root, and of course when we have a negative square root, we're going to have to take out an I. Take an I out there. So we have 3 plus or minus I square roots of 11 over 2. And remember, we do not split that up when we have an I, so we're just going to leave it for our answer as 3 plus or minus I square roots of 11 over 2. All right, another one. This time x squared equals 6x minus 2. The tricky part about this one, I think, is we have to move two things over to our x squared side of things, giving us our a, b, and c as 1, negative 6, and 2. Plug those into the formula, and that simplifies to be 6 plus or minus the square root of 36 minus 8 over 2. 36 minus 8 is 28 underneath the radical. And the square root of 28, you can take a 4 out of that. The square root of 4 is 2. Hey, that's exactly what I was saying right there. So you get 2 square roots of 7 instead of the square root of 28. Simplifies a little bit. Giving you 6 plus or minus 2 square roots of 7 over 2. And if you want, you could even take 6 divided by 2. You get 3. 2 divided by 2 in front of the radical cancels. And that is your answer. Okay, and then this is going to be our assignment in class later today. Thank you for watching.